I'm Helen from I Care I Move. We're going to have a little discussion and then we're going to practice looking at our leg strength. Without power and strength in our legs, we struggle with our basic living skills such as moving from a bed to a chair to a loo. We need our leg strength to get off furniture, on furniture, and it enhances our quality of life. I can't stress the importance of being able to have strong legs, and we will teach you lots of variations in the films we're about to see about how we can train your thighs, train your bottom muscles and train your legs to really help you improve your quality of life. Okay, so we're going to start by a thing that we've called the jockey jump. So what I'd like you to do is just tuck your feet under your knees. Think about sitting away from to the front third of your chair. And it's simple exercise, and it may feel a little bit funny to start with, but I simply want you to clench your bottom cheeks. So give it a clench and then a release. And what will happen is you'll actually feel that your shoulders are lifting and lowering. It will feel a little bit silly, but what we're actually doing is starting to engage the muscles that will propel us into a standing position. Now, to help you with this movement, I want you to think about driving your heels into the ground. So we press our heels down and squeeze our bottom, and we start to get a little bit of a lift. Now, some of you will tell me that there is knee pain going on here, and we recognise that, but we are going to work for the benefit of your safety here with some variations. Okay, so from here, I want you to start thinking about how we get a little bit more of a lift and a pause. So it's almost like you want to get out of your seat, and then you've changed your mind. So it's a little lift, drive your heels into the ground, squeeze your bottom. Now here is a really great tip for you. Keep your eye gaze forwards or upwards. And the reason being, we're not in a downward motion, and that is really important. So think about squeezing your bottom, driving your heels into the ground, leaning in, leaning up, and that will help us with our lift. Now, give yourself a rest for a moment because I'd imagine you're quite tired. Stretch out your legs if you need be. Give yourself a little pat or a little rub. Okay, because now we're going to have a look at how we stand from a seated position. Okay, so firstly, let's put the whole method together. I want you to hip walk from the back of your chair forward into the front third. So we lift the bottom, we walk the legs and come to the front third of your chair. This is to enable us to propel ourselves upwards rather than forwards. The next thing I want you to do is to tuck your heels underneath your knees as far back as you possibly can. Now, I'm going to help Pat and bring a frame forward just so you've got an idea of how this variations of this movement. So from here, pop your hands on the frame or in front of you, or indeed thighs, shoulders, arms. We're going to demonstrate. Watch us first, then I want you to join in. So we take a breath, we lift up, our eye gaze is forward, and when we're ready, we reach and come up, up, up into a standing position where we pump our heels at the top. Now this is critical. Whenever you transfer from a seated to a standing position, you must always pump your heels. Why? Now we do this so we can increase your blood flow back to your heart and you don't feel dizzy. This is what we call a life hack. Okay, so I need you now to sit down. So we don't sit from this position. We wiggle jiggle our feet backwards until that moment you feel your legs on the back of your chair. Then you stick out your bottom, then you come back down into a seated position. What you'll find here is that your bum lands at the back of your chair and you feel safe. Let's do that again. Come with us this time. Come to the front third of your chair. Tuck your heels underneath your knees. Sit up tall. Only when you feel ready, you take a breath in and breathe out forcefully as you come into that lift and drive yourself away from the floor. Pump your heels at the top. We always pump our heels at the top. This will become such a great habit for you. This is very good, and it helps us to reduce or prevent any dizziness when we travel from a seated to a standing position. Now we're up here, we walk our feet backwards, feel the legs against the chair, stick out your bottom, and then bring yourself back into a seated position. We're going to do that one more time, and then hopefully we've nailed the movement. So let's hip walk forward to the front of the chair, squeeze the bottom, heels underneath the knees, use your breath, power to stand up, and at the top we pump those heels, thinking, oh, this is wonderful. Wiggle jiggle your feet backwards, feel the chair on the back of your legs, pop out your bottom before you come into a seated position, and there, well done. You've been working through the sit to a stand. Well done.